The Las Vegas Strip is glittering. The lights of Caesar's Palace pierce the sky. Somewhere, someone has just won $10,000 at blackjack. Champagne bubbles are rising. There is laughter. There is music. It is a night that never ends. And yet, on the other side, beneath that very ground, people are yearning for light. Just enough light to see the palms of their own hands. This is the story of the darkness that lies hidden beneath the lights. This is the story of the 7,906 people who, on a single January night, just one night, were found to be homeless in Clark County. This figure represents a 10-year high. It is a 56% increase since 2021. This number is not merely a statistic. These are 7,906 human lives. And of these, 4,202, that is, 53%, had no roof over their heads that night. They were on the streets, in the desert, in the tunnels, in the corners of parks. They were in places never designed for human habitation. Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world. Have you ever wondered why a human being would choose to live underground? It is not madness. It is not obsession. It is not laziness. It is the very last resort. When the world above has shut its doors. When rent stands at $1,470, while wages are $11.25 an hour. When there is no room left in the shelters. When the police evict you from the park. When you have been rejected from every direction, then even a tunnel beneath the earth can feel like the open sky. In that moment, I told myself, there is a roof here. There is no sun. It feels a bit strange, perhaps, but there was a community here. This is the story of them all. Wait, listen to this. There is a city beneath Las Vegas. It has no streets, only tunnels. It has no markets, only scattered belongings. It has no schools, only the struggle to learn how to survive. It has a roof, but that very roof can drown you in the rain. This city was built in the 1990s. Back then, someone had an idea. Las Vegas experiences sudden flash floods. The desert soil does not absorb water, so a network of tunnels was laid out for flash flood control, a 600-mile-long network. Concrete channels, pipes, culverts, an underground river. No one imagined that, one day, people would make their homes within these very tunnels. Today, in 2026, an estimated 1,200 to 1,500 people live in these tunnels. They are beneath Caesar's Palace. They are beneath the MGM Grand. They are directly beneath those glittering buildings where tens of millions of dollars are gambled away every single night. And the tourists have absolutely no idea. What lies inside these tunnels? Darkness. First and foremost, darkness. Then, as your eyes adjust, another world comes into view. Walls constructed from scraps of metal, old quilts, broken chairs. Some residents have even painted murals on the walls, using whatever colors they could find. A home of sorts, an attempt at living. Yet amidst this struggle, dangers lurk, hovering at every moment. Flash floods strike without warning. In 2022, the year Las Vegas experienced its heaviest monsoon rains in a decade, 2 people were swept away by the floodwaters within these very tunnels. They died. Their bodies were recovered later. In 2023, another death. Over the past 10 years, there have been at least 4 flood-related fatalities in Clark County, and every single victim was homeless. Las Vegas is the second fastest warming city in the United States. From 1970 to 2026, temperatures have risen by an average of 5.9 degrees Fahrenheit. The summer of 2024 was record-breaking. The average summer temperature reached 96.2 degrees Fahrenheit, surpassing the previous record of 93.7 degrees Fahrenheit. And in 2024, 147 homeless individuals died due to the heat in a single year. 147. In 2023, that number stood at 106. That represents a 39% increase in just 1 year. The tunnels, at the very least, offer some respite from the heat. That is why people seek refuge there. The largest demographic consists of those aged 35 to 44, making up 22%. Next are those aged 45 to 54, 18%, followed by those aged 55 to 64, 17%. In other words, these are not homeless youth. These are people of working age. These are the very individuals we once encountered in our neighborhoods, on the bus, or in our workplaces. Approximately 475 ex-servicemen, those who served the country, have no roof over their heads tonight. 11.4% have documented mental health issues, but the true figure is much higher because diagnosis is rare among the homeless population. 8.9% have documented substance abuse issues, and domestic violence, 3%. Individuals who ended up here because the place they called home was no home at all. But how long has this crisis existed, and what are its causes? To understand this, we must look back a little. In the 1990s, Las Vegas became a boom city. The casino industry created jobs. The population surged. Over the past 50 years, the population of Clark County has grown by 778%, and today, it stands at 2.4 million. As jobs grew, housing supply did not keep pace. As people arrived, rents skyrocketed. Between 2022 and 2026, market rents in southern Nevada rose by 20%, surpassing the national average. Today, the average rent for an apartment in Las Vegas stands at $1,470 per month. Meanwhile, Nevada's minimum wage is $11.25 per hour. Do the math. $11.25 times 40 hours times 4 weeks equals $1,800 per month. Rent costs $1,470. That leaves just $330 to cover all food, medication, clothing, and bills. One accident, one illness, one job loss, and even that $330 vanishes. Near downtown Las Vegas lies an area people call the Corridor of Hope. It is home to shelters, soup kitchens, and outreach centers. Yet there simply isn't enough space for everyone who needs it. At night, those unable to secure a spot in a shelter are left to sleep right here on the streets. In the eastern part of Las Vegas, the East Side, where 7,468 homeless individuals reside, the impact of the heat is most severe. This is the zone where the city ends and the desert begins. No shade, no water, just scorching sun and temperatures reaching 110 degrees Fahrenheit. By 2030, every homeless shelter in Las Vegas will face 70 to 80 days a year, where temperatures exceed 100 degrees Fahrenheit. By 2080, nearly every single summer day will be like this. In other words, this problem isn't just growing larger, it is on a path towards spiraling out of control. But the most hidden, most forgotten territory of all lies within a 600-mile network of tunnels. There are entry points into these tunnels, but their locations are not publicly disclosed, ostensibly for the sake of safety. The truth, however, is this. If those entry points were revealed, the world would find out what lies within. And the world, it seems, is not meant to know. That said, the local government here is not entirely empty-handed. Commissioner Sagerblom himself admits that the Navigation Center is usually at capacity. In other words, there are 70 beds, and there are 7,906 people. Clark County has invested over $170 million in affordable housing projects. In April 2025, an additional $45.4 million was allocated for 5 new projects. This will result in the creation of 590 new low-income housing units. This is a step in the right direction. Yet Nevada faces a shortage of affordable rental homes, exceeding 78,000 units. This means that 590 units amount to nothing more than a drop in the ocean. The MORE team, Multi-Agency Outreach Resource Engagement. This is a mobile unit that ventures into tunnels, encampments, and the desert outskirts. It provides services and connects people with the resources they need. However, this team operates with limited resources. Furthermore, there is a looming fear of federal funding cuts. In 2025, due to policies enacted by the Trump administration, many homeless service organizations are receiving reduced federal grants. In early 2025, Clark County implemented a camping ban. Pitching tents in public spaces is now illegal. The result? Those who were living on the streets have retreated further into hiding. They have moved into tunnels and to the fringes of the desert. Criminalization doesn't address why people are homeless. It just makes it harder to connect them to services, outreach workers observe. In 2024, the Supreme Court issued a landmark ruling. Cities may now enforce anti-camping ordinances. The Eighth Amendment, prohibiting cruel and unusual punishment, does not apply in these cases. In other words, being homeless is not technically illegal. However, sleeping anywhere can now be legally problematic. And when there is nowhere left to sleep, where is a person supposed to go? This is the question to which no one has an answer. County Commissioner Sagerblom himself stated at a town hall, "Here is the reality. We don't have enough manpower. We don't have enough rooms. Nothing is sufficient." This is a statement from an official. In 2024, 147 homeless people died from the heat in a single year. On average, more than one death per day. This figure stood at 106 in 2023. It was lower in 2022. It is rising every year, and this trend will not stop. The Woodwell Climate Research Center projects that by 2030, every homeless shelter in Las Vegas will experience temperatures exceeding 100 degrees Fahrenheit for 70 to 80 days a year. By 2080, nearly every summer day, 7,468 homeless people reside across 87 census tracts on the east side, the area with the highest heat exposure. The urban heat island effect, driven by low-density neighborhoods, concrete roads, and parking lots, combines to make the east side even hotter. Flash flood season in Las Vegas runs from July through September, precisely the time when the heat is most intense. On one hand, the heat is lethal. On the other, the threat of flooding looms. Those living in the tunnels often know in advance when the rains are coming. They form a community, warning one another of the danger. Yet warnings do not always arrive in time. The floodwaters rise, and those who cannot escape do not survive. Beneath the city that never sleeps lies a city that cannot sleep. On one side, glittering lights, champagne, jackpots. On the other, dark tunnels, festering wounds, the biting cold of the night, the same ground, two worlds. And between these two worlds lies a distance of mere meters. Yet that distance feels as vast as an entire lifetime. 220 people over the past 7 months have made it out, one by one. This crisis is real. This crisis is massive. This crisis is growing. But a solution is not impossible. It requires affordable housing, mental health resources, addiction treatment, federal funding, political will, and above all, acknowledging that those 9,189 people, they are not just statistics. They are human beings. They are Jay. They are Donica. They are Beverly. They are Rob. One accident, one illness, one job loss, one rough patch, and we too could have ended up there. There are 600 miles of tunnels beneath Las Vegas, and 1,500 human beings live within them. Each one is a life worth saving. The Strip that never sleeps. How many people amidst its bright lights close their eyes at night just so they don't have to see the darkness lying beneath? If you are in Las Vegas, there is a hotline number to help the homeless. 702-455-4270. If you see a homeless person in need, please call. And subscribe to World Quest. Share this video with as many people as possible so that they take this issue seriously. Because this journey continues. Los Angeles is here. New York is here. Chicago is here. Every city has its own story, and every story asks the same question. Why? Press the bell icon so you don't miss a single episode.